boys and girls, it's Miss Cross here to work with you on math today. So we are continuing working on rounding, which we started yesterday. And our learning target for the week is I can use place value to round whole numbers to any place using tools such as number lines or anchor charts. And today we're going to practice it with number lines. But first, we have another estimation 180 to get our math thinking going today. So remember, when you do an estimation 180, you will start by making several estimates that are way too high to answer the problem, and then several other estimates that are way too low to answer the problem, and then some estimates that you think could be correct. Okay, so your teacher can pause the video and you guys can do the estimation 180 now, and then come back and join me when you are finished. Okay, friends, today we are going to work on some rounding using number lines, okay? So let's look at this problem together. Miss Young was ordering agendas for all of the students at Arcado Elementary School. She wanted to be sure she had enough for each student. If there are going to be 1,274 students at Arcado, how could she round this number to be sure she ordered enough agendas? Okay, so we want to be sure there are enough. Now remember, rounding is a way of estimating or finding about how many of something we have or we need or we want. And there's different ways we can round. So I'm going to model rounding this number to the nearest 10, to the nearest 100, and to the nearest 1,000. And then we're going to decide which one of those numbers is the best estimate for this problem, okay? So I'm going to switch over to my paper so you can see my work. And what I did is I already wrote the number of students on the top of my page, which was 1,274. Now I have drawn 3 number lines here, and I realize it's kind of hard to see, but I'll move it when we get to the one that is hard to see. The first one is going to be for the nearest 10. So what I have to do is I have to think about if this is on a number line between 2 10s, what 10 is it in between? It's in between this 10, which is 70, and the next 10, which if we were counting by 10s, 70, 80 would be next. So I have 1,270 on that side, 1,280 on this side. Now I need to think for a minute about what all of these other marks would mean. And if you look, the number line should be split up into 10 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So if I think about a 10, which is what I'm rounding to, half of 10 is 5. So in the very middle, on the 5th mark, from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this one is going to be 1,275. Now, I'm not going to label every little mark because it would get kind of hard to read, but we know that if we're going from here to here, which is a 10, a jump of 10, and we have 10 spots, then each spot on the number line is going to be worth 1. So this would be 1,271, 1,272, 1,273, 1,274, 1,275, 76, 77, 78, 79, all the way up to 1,280. So now I'm going to go back to this number, 1,274. If this is 1,275, I know that this number right here, or this spot right here, is the number I need. Okay? 1,274. Now, remember, rounding to the nearest 10, I'm trying to decide if this number is closer in value to this number or this number. And using a number line makes this really easy to see which amount it's closer to. So, for this one, I'm going to see how far it is to get to 1,270 and how far it is to get to 1,280. So first I'm going to go down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 units in between 1,270 and 1,274. Okay? Now let's see how far it is from this to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So if I'm going to go from 1,274 to 1,280, I have to jump 6 spaces. So it's very easy for me to tell that this distance is shorter than this distance. So this number, rounded to the nearest 10, would be 1,270. Okay, I'm rounding down because there are fewer jumps here than there are here. Okay? Now, let's take that same number and round it to the nearest 100. So I'll write it down here since I can't see the top of my paper anymore. 1,274. So now I want to think about which two hundreds on a number line is this number between. So I'm going to take the 100 that's in the number, which would be 1,200, and the next 100 up would be 1,300. Now again, I have split this number line into 10 sections, but this time they are not worth 1, they are worth 10, okay? Because this is 100 units between these two numbers, and I have divided that up into tens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be 1,250, okay? So this would be 1,210, 1,220, 1,230, 1,240, 1,250, which is in the very middle, 1,260, 1,270, 1,280, 1,290, and 1,300. So now we have to figure out where this number goes on this number line. Okay? So 1,274. If these are going up by tens, this is going to be in the 10 that has the 70. So if this is 1,250, this would be 60, this would be 70, this would be 1,270, this would be 1,280. Okay, so I know it's going to be in between those two because 74 is in between 70 and 80. And I put it a little bit left of center here because it's a little bit less than halfway between those two values. So now, again, I have to figure out, am I closer to this number or this number, because those are going to be my nearest hundreds. All right, so I'm going to see how many hops away I am each direction. Now, hopefully, you can already see visually which 100 this is closer to. But let's do it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is 70 because that's 7 tens away. And going this way, we have 1, 2, 3, which would be 30. So I now can see that if I round this number to the nearest 100, it is closer to 1,300. We're rounding that number up to the nearest 100, to the next 100, excuse me. Okay? Now, we have one more way we're going to look at this, and this is going to be to the nearest 1,000. All right, I'm trying to get rid of that glare. It's not really working very well. Hopefully you can still see it. Okay, so we have 1,274, and it is between 1,000 and 2,000. Okay, once again, my number line is split up into 10 spaces. This time, those spaces represent 100 units because this whole space is 1,000. Divided up by 10 would be 100. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is right in the middle. This would be 1,500. So this would be 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500, 1,600, 1,700, 1,800, 1,900, and 2,000. So now I have to figure out where on this number line this number goes. So 1,274, this is going to be in between 200 and 300. So 1, 2, this is 1,200, this is 1,300. So this number is going to be right in there, okay? That is where it's going to be. So now I've got to figure out, am I closer to 1,000 or 2,000, and hopefully this number line helps you see which thousand it is closer to. But we'll do our hops just in case. 1, 2. Now these are hundreds, so that's 200 units away. And going this way, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 800 units away. So we can see here that this number rounds to 1,000, okay? So if we round 1,274 to the nearest 10, we get 1,270. If we round it to the nearest 100, we get 1,300. And if we round it to the nearest 1,000, we get 1,000. Now, thinking back to our question, Miss Young wants to be sure she has enough agendas for all students. So let's think about each of these numbers and figure out which one is the best estimate for this situation, okay? So if we have 1,274 students and she orders 1,270, is that going to be enough? Well, I remember that I rounded down this time, so this value is actually less than the number of students. So I don't think that is going to be our best estimate for this problem. Let's look at this one. 1,274 rounded to the nearest 100 was 1,300. Now, if I think about that, if she ordered 1,300 journals and she has 1,274 students, that would give us about 30 extra journals now, or agendas. Now think about if we get some extra students, new students throughout the year, she would have about 30 extra. So it'd be a little bit extra, but not way, way, way extra. So I think that seems like a good estimate, but let's check our last one just to be sure. So remember this time, we rounded the number down to 1,000. So if we ordered 1,000 agendas for 1,274 kids, we'd have an even bigger problem than up here. We'd be short almost 300 agendas. So that is not a good estimate for this situation. I think she needs to order 1,300 agendas. She needs to round to the nearest 100. Okay, boys and girls, let's pop back over to our slides really quickly, and you are going to get going on some independent practice today. You're going to work in your workbook on pages 37, 38, 39, and 40, and your teacher can stay on live with you guys. Maybe you can turn off your cameras and your mics while you work and come back to ask for help if you need it, or perhaps you will go into individual breakout rooms, however your teacher likes to run your math time. Think about how we used the number line today to help us with rounding, and you can draw number lines too to help you. So we started using number lines as a tool to help us round. We'll continue to work more with rounding tomorrow. Please be sure to pay attention to the place it's asking you to round to, okay? So 10, 100, 1,000, could be even 10,000 or 100,000, and we'll model that tomorrow, guys. Have fun doing your math tomorrow, or today, and I will see you back tomorrow. Bye, friends.